Donald's Day in the Kitchen. It was written by Vincent Jeffreys. Now, it doesn't list an illustrator, so usually we assume that Vincent did the illustrations, the pictures, as well. Donald is still asleep in his bed. A lovely dream floats in his head. Donald's dream, as you can see, is a chocolate cake big as he. It looks tasty. It looks sweet. What a lovely thing to eat, but when he tried to bite the cake, he suddenly came wide awake. The cake had disappeared from sight, and he left nothing but his appetite. He jumped up quickly from his bed and ran to the kitchen to be fed. I'm hungry enough to eat a horse, but I'll start with something else, of course. Grandma, who was standing there, said, "Breakfast takes time to prepare." Now he was in a cranky mood. He yelled, "I hate to wait for food." Grandma's kindly face turned red. "Make it yourself," is what she said. Put this on if you're so smart. And wash the pans before you start. You won't learn cooking overnight, but you might learn to be polite. An apron, as every homemaker knows, keeps splash and splatter from your clothes. He's so sloppy, so far from neat, he gets soaked from head to feet. An eggnog is really easy. It's not too sweet, not too greasy. But when his apron caught in the door, he dropped the eggs right on the floor. "I'm so hungry," Donald cried. "I'm like an empty bag inside. I'd love to cook a leg of lamb or roast a cut of beef or ham." "But I don't have a roast to make. Besides, they take too long to bake. So I'm afraid that I would starve before I got a chance to carve. I think perhaps that I might bake a lemon pie or chocolate cake, but I must let it go for now. The reason is I don't know how." He found a grapefruit pretty soon and tried to eat it with a spoon. But the juice squirted in his eye and some ran off onto his tie. "I'll try again," thought Donald Duck, but this time, too, he had bad luck. He closed his eyes and turned his head. The juice went in his ear instead. To make a tasty cup of tea is just as simple as can be. Put boiling water in a kettle, add tea leaves, and then let it settle. Donald didn't stop to think, and he quickly gulped a drink. Something all of us must learn is hot tea can really burn. I think I'll cook my favorite food. It's not boiled, baked, or stewed. I'll make the dish I like the most: fresh cooked eggs and buttered toast. But Donald still had things to learn. A toaster sometimes makes bread burn. He was so upset with all the smoke, he dropped the eggshells in the yolk. Out of the kitchen, Donald ran to turn on Grandma's great big fan. He got it plugged into the socket. It started blowing like a rocket. It blew the pictures off the wall. It blew the napkins down the hall. It blew the smoke, And what is more, it blew poor Donald out the door. When Donald gave his eggs a munch, there was an awful noisy crunch. You can't chew an omelet very well if it's been cooked with broken shells. So Donald got a bowl to fix himself some tasty pancake mix. He put it in milk and salt and flour and mixed the dough for half an hour. He used a bowl and spoon of wood and mixed it till it looked thick and good. Then poured some in a frying pan and flipped it when one side was tan. But when he sailed it in the air, he couldn't take it. He couldn't find it anywhere. First he looked left, then he looked right. The pancake was nowhere in sight. That's when he had a funny feeling. It might be stuck up on the ceiling. He thought, I'll look up just in case. The pancake smacked him in the face. I think I'm melting, Donald cried. This is the worst thing that I've tried. And he decided there and then he'd never cook pancakes again. The floor's so full of food I dropped, I'd better stop until it's mopped. That's when he stepped on slippery butter and slid right through the kitchen shutter. The sight of Donald feeling bad made kindly Grandma Duck quite sad. It worked out fine, Donald said. I got my breakfast served in bed. Oh, a little hurt, isn't he? How many of these kitchen words do you know? Feel free to pause the video and practice reading them. Remember, sound out the vowels in each word, in every consonant, every letter. The end.